Well, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you're watching that. Sometimes you just can't get over that being on the news all the night. I want to say good evening, everyone, but some of you are watching this at 5 in the morning or something, and it's our usual check-in with New Leaf Hyperbaric and Wellness Center and Matt McCarl. And Matt, right off the bat, because I got some things we want to talk. I know you went to a conference and you got some all kinds of information on different types of health aspects of life, and you also had a little incident with your arm, which now I have an incident with my face. We
Right.
have to start hanging out together. But I want to show people how that I've been watching your videos. If you guys want to check out Matt's site. He's been doing videos kind of showing a progress on how much better it's healing with the hyperbaric treatment. But first, start off with Green Saturday, because this is the big event of the
Yeah,
year.
it's our
New,
annual lowest price point sale of the year. It's one day. It's Saturday after Thanksgiving, so we call it Green Saturday instead of like Black Friday or anything like that. Also, a shop small weekend for folks that are local, and since we are a small business, we like to fall under that umbrella. But that day, folks can purchase hyperbarics for an hour, 1 hour hyperbarics, 1 hour massages for only $70, which is a great discount. Hyperbarics are normally $150 for the hour. Massages are normally 95. And then you can also get the amazing power bed, which is our red, blue, and infrared light bed for only 35. That's normally 55. So what a lot of folks do that are, regular clients with us is they'll fill their account as full as they can that day to come in throughout the year. We have clients that like to come in, say, every other week. So they'll buy 26 treatments that day so that they have enough to last them all year. The coolest part about this whole thing is that we know that that weekend's a super busy weekend. So folks may not be able to have time to call us or come by that day. So you can actually start pre-ordering November 1st. So you just give us a call, let us know how many treatments you would like to have, and then on that day, we actually run the card, put them on your account for that day because it's technically a 1 day sale. But we do allow folks to pre-order because we know that friends and family and stuff inundate your house usually on Thanksgiving weekend, and you might be a little preoccupied.
so the actual day is Saturday after Thanksgiving, right?
Correct. Yep.
So, but right, starting November 1st,
Hmm.
and the cool thing about that is, I mean, it's like it's half price, and
Yeah.
you could buy up for the entire year. Just plan on, okay, I'm going to do 3 treatments a month or 4 treatments a month, once a week, whatever,
Yep.
and figure it out, and you're gonna get it for half price for the entire year.
Yep. Yeah. It's
You
how
get
we
a lot of people.
help folks
You get
get
a
the
lot of
treatments they need.
you sell this thing like crazy, don't you?
I are out there educating folks as to why they need to do hyperbarics. That's why I've done a really close follow of the healing from my arm. So yeah.
So tell me about your arm, because what happened, and then what you've seen because of the hyperbarics. Because what a lot of people probably don't know about hyperbarics is it's just pure oxygen, but it's on steroids. No, but not literally, but
All right. Yeah.
like
Well,
in,
yes, but no. Correct. It's just that we're flooding your body with 4 times the amount so that it enables your body to have excess oxygen to be able to do cool things like heal you faster because oxygen is natural. It's what your body uses to heal itself. Without oxygen, like a couple of the physicians I work with, they talk about like you can go without water for several days, you can go without food for several days, but how long can you hold your breath?
right.
Not very long because your body needs the oxygen. It works with the mitochondrial to produce energy in your body, which is again how you heal and stuff. So back on August 30th, I in my other life that I have had a little injury. I was lifting something a little bit too heavy and separated my bicep tendon right there. And so a couple weeks later, September 9th, they did surgery, which means as of last Monday, I am 6 weeks post surgery. And if you get a really
Okay.
good look, that scar looks really good for only 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, and notice that I'm at full extension because when they do a bicep tendon repair, they actually have to go in. They drill a hole in your radius or your radial bone, poke it through the hole, and then clip it back to the bone because that's the only way they can get it to reattach. And so then the bone goes back around it. You also get good adhesion, and being in the hyperbaric chamber helps it all happen quicker and healing faster. I, knowing what I know about hyperbarics, spent Saturday and Sunday, the 2 days prior to my surgery, two 90-minute sessions. And then post surgery, I was home for like 2 hours, hopped in my chamber, did another 90 minutes, came out. The anesthetic, brain fog was gone. Just felt all over better from post surgery. And then every day after that, I did 90 minutes twice a day till I hit 40 hours. And then I backed off and just did one 90-minute treatment a day till I hit 80 hours just last Sunday. And now I'm just going to back off to 3 days a week just to continue the healing process.
So, Matt, when you go to your doctors, do they kind of go, what are you doing?
My physical therapist, who's a good friend of mine, and I've been seeing him for years, he knows what I do, and he sends me folks actually to help his clients heal faster and maybe not need as much physical therapy time. The surgeons, on the other hand, they're surgeons. They play in their little world. They're very much like they got the blinders on, if you
Yeah.
will. And so hyperbarics is kind of over here in their periphery. They don't see that over there because it's behind their blinder. I try to explain it to them. They just don't have time to do the research. They do like what they see, but as far as like impressed about it, not yet.
Yeah,
So
it is. Yeah, so you go to a lot of conferences, and I'm also working with. Uh, I just talked to Bethany, who bought Eugene Nutrition,
oh
and
yeah.
she and I were having a Matt and Rick conversation about how there's so many things out there you can do for your body that are not medical. And you just went to a conference. What were the takeaways from this conference? What were some of the things you saw or heard about that just kind of blew your mind?
Well, there wasn't much information we got from the conference, Rick. It was a 2.5 day conference, and like these books that I'm looking at right here, longevity and wellness, metabolic health, um, autoimmune disorders, brain health, and neurology. Those are all things that they're really starting to watch when it comes to hyperbarics and those things. One of our physicians that's been working in hyperbarics for 12, 15 years now, I want to say, he started out as a chiropractor, had a back injury very similar to mine, that left him with neuropathy and drop foot. And he was at a conference, chiropractic conference, functional medicine type conference, and they had hyperbarics there several years ago. He hopped in it, did a quick treatment just to try it out because he knew nothing about it, and realized a few hours later as he was walking on the conference that he had pins and needles in the foot that he couldn't really feel before. So he started doing hyperbarics more, and it helped his neuropathy in his foot. He's now a functional medicine doc, not just
Wow.
a chiropractor. Has two hyperbaric practices himself, and he's also going to the University of Miami now, to where he's getting his PhD and all those fun things. But he's doing a study, or he did a study, and he's compiling all the research now between what we do here, which is considered mild pressure hyperbarics, and what they do at a lot of other hyperbaric centers like hospitals, wound care, stuff like that, where they're doing what's, they call it high pressure hyperbarics, because there's two camps, if you will, in hyperbaric world. There's the high pressure folks, and then the mild folks is what we do here. And for a long time, the high pressure guys, and they still do, don't really think that what we do is as effective as what they do. And for certain things, that's true, like the bends. I can't treat the bends because I can't put enough pressure on you to shrink those hydrogen gases and everything back down to the size they were when you were maybe 30, 40 feet below sea level.
Right.
However, what he's discovering is that mild pressure turns on or turns off different genes than the high pressure stuff does, and actually more genes than the high pressure stuff does, which turning them on for the correct things and turning them off for the correct things, like inflammation and different stuff like that. They're doing a lot more studies for the brain at these pressures too, because they're realizing that the higher pressure isn't necessarily as good for the brain versus the low pressure. There's a really cool formula that you can use that I use all the time when thinking of oxygen as a dose. We think of it as a supplement. So we're dosing you with oxygen every time you're in the chamber.
Uh-huh.
At 2 atmospheres, say at 100% oxygen, if you do the formula, it's actually an oxygen dose of 2. To get that same oxygen dose in a chamber like ours with 95% pure oxygen, it takes an hour and 43 minutes instead of that hour mark in the higher pressure. So once again, for folks maybe have heard me talk before, high pressure stuff, I relate that to a big old non-coated bare aspirin. You take that once, it's okay, but you keep taking it over and over, it's going to start tearing up your stomach and not being so good for your insides. Mild pressure, on the other hand, is more like a baby aspirin. It's coated and it's gentler on the body, and you can take, more of those without damaging the inside so much. You might have to take 2 to get the same effect as 1. There again, you just stay in here a little longer than you do one of the bigger chambers, but there's less pressure on your eyes, less pressure on your ears, less pressure on your organs, but we're still getting that oxygen dose in the system for you.
Well, and like with your business too, this is something people can rent. You can't rent a high pressure oxygen tank. I mean, or afford one. And these are
Right.
affordable. People can buy them and put them in their homes for people going, or somebody going through cancer treatment, for 6 months. They can rent one from you, put it in their house, and you don't have to go anywhere to do it. You can't do that with the big tank, and you wouldn't be, it wouldn't be even feasible to even think about that.
Right, exactly, Rick. There are a couple bigger chambers that folks, do buy or rent, but those folks are usually, like the superstars of the world that have multi-millions of dollars, because those chambers are like $150,000 depending on what manufacturer you go to. Where like this chamber right here behind me retails for just a little over 15,000, so much more affordable for folks. And renting it, like you mentioned, Rick, renting it. If you did rent one for me for like 6 months, you would probably have it paid off by then.
Huh.
So depending on
Wow.
what size you purchased. So
Right.
yeah, but
So
that does allow you to do more treatments without the travel time. That's what a lot of folks look at when they're cancer, post-stroke, different things like that. Is I want to do treatments twice a day, but that's not economically or time economic for me to be coming to you twice a day. It's much
right.
easier just to do it in my house.
So do you see like I mean, obviously with your clientele, probably you do, but just I think post COVID, we all realize how much healthcare is in it's my business now. I don't, it doesn't mean I don't trust people, but I'm going to take everybody's information and I'm going to go out and try alternative medicines because obviously, they call it medical practice for a reason. They're practicing
Mhm.
medicine. Well, I don't need to use medicine all the time. And there's so many things with our gut health and our bodies and our minds
Mhm.
that it's not woo 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 science anymore. It's
Right.
becoming very acceptable, even though YouTube still, if I put the wrong lead on your videos, they still will act. Tim sometimes has to write them 3 times to so that it's not sounding like it's hyperbaric, what they
Right.
because there's still that prejudice against it. But more
Yeah.
people are looking to alternatives because they're not satisfied with here, take a pill and call me next week.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing, Rick, where a lot more people are not just relying on their physician, or maybe just not one physician. Like myself, I have a
Right.
couple different physicians. I have a functional
Me
medicine
too.
doc that I see, and then I'm working with a hormone therapy specialist. I have my regenerative care doc that I work with, plus my chiropractor, my acupuncturist. So all these things to help keep my body on the plan that I want, because that's something else they talked about at the conference that me and a local friend of mine has been talking about for years. It's not your lifespan per se, it's your health span. So what we're used to seeing is, we watched our grandparents growing up and our parents, and they did this, and then they get in their 60s and their 70s, and then they're down here in their, you know late 70s, 80s, 90s, down here. Maybe they're in a wheelchair, they got a walker, maybe some of them are even bedridden, and then finally they pass on. Well, your health span should be more up here, and maybe you blip down a little bit at some point, but and then be done.
Right.
Not live life down here, just just living, not truly living.
Right. Because if you take care of this thing that we were given, by whoever you believe in, but
Mhm.
we have this amazing machine, and if you don't take care of it, it won't take care of you. And I think most of us are to the point now where I want quality life. I don't care as much about quantity. I mean, so I'd rather have years going like that and then drop off than going, oh, and have a longer lifespan where I'm just slowly petering out. And I
Yeah.
think by taking charge of our medical history and what we're doing and understanding how our bodies work, I've learned so much from you. Just because I always tell my friends, like, yeah, Matt's the guy who, I seriously, I think this guy will try anything, and they work. Because you're not afraid to go light therapy, therapy. Let's see what it is.
Right.
And then you read your research. You're not just jumping on the next bandwagon, but you're not afraid to try this stuff, and then go, there we go. There's a new modem that people can use because I didn't think I'd like light therapy as much as I do, but the few times you put me in that under that thing, I'm coming out of there going, I want this.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
it's
But
it's
we can do
surprising.
that, Rick. We can do that.
And if we, and naturally, like when we were cave people or whatever we were before this, natives or whatever,
Mhm.
um, you relied on the sun and the oxygen and all those natural things to
Mhm.
help heal your body with some supplements of food that, and berries and roots and different things they discovered. But we've made it way too complicated and given way too much power away to the medical profession, I think.
See what's going on out there in the world these days with that situation. Um, and I think it all comes down to that stuff that everybody wants to have, that money stuff. Um, and when the day I opened door, I said, I'm not here to make $1 million. As long as I'm comfortable and my staff is comfortable, and we're paying all our bills and we're not stressing about things, then that's where we'll be. That's why I try to keep our prices as effective as I do. Um, you know, so there has been some price increases since I've opened, but that's just because as the world increases things, I have to maintain what I have to do to survive myself and keep my staff happy.
And off your back, huh? Well, so okay, so again, Matt, the big special is coming up on a Saturday after Thanksgiving. But the
Yep.
good news is we don't have much time here. Like within a week or so, you can
Yep.
start November 1st. You can start
Yep. You can
ordering
start
those.
pre-ordering, and I believe the date you're looking for. I believe that's November 30th. It's the end of the month this year. Thanksgiving's like really close to the end of the month, which is really weird. It's not normally. It's usually there's usually another whole week after Thanksgiving, or at least half a week. But
Oh, you're
for,
right. November 30th is
yeah,
Saturday.
yeah,
So for the entire month, they got a month that they could buy those things and
yep,
uh, and get it
right,
in there.
yep. Get them all pre-ordered. We'll put you on the list. In fact, like next week, we're going to start calling folks from last year and seeing how many they want to get this year. Because normally, I would say 90, 95% of everybody that purchased the year before
Oh,
purchases again.
well, you'd
Absolutely.
be you'd be dumb not to. I mean, I'm
Well,
serious.
some folks, the ones that don't either purchased a chamber or they were coming in for a very specific reason that has resolved,
And
and they don't necessarily want to get maintenance treatments. They'll
right.
wait until something's going on again and then come in at that point.
All right. So Matt McCarl, New Leaf Hyperbarics and Wellness, massage, light therapy. What's the other? You haven't.
That hyperbaric thing, yeah, that one.
Well, the hyperbarics, but then there's something else that you're doing
Oh,
that.
we have infrared sauna as well as brain tap, which
Yeah.
is a newer modality for us. It's been around for a very long time. It's light, sound, and guided meditation with a headset and an app. And so folks can get that app and take it home and use the
Yeah,
equipment
Matt
at their
sent me
house.
the thing, and it
Yeah.
was really fun. I mean, I was
Yeah.
I was very relaxed after that.
Yeah.
I do not advise you doing it at work.
Well, depending on which one you're doing at work, you can actually, there's some there that are pretty good to take a mid-afternoon break and recharge yourself for the rest of the day. Gives you better mental clarity.
All right, Matt McCarl, thanks, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rick.
I'll see you later.
Absolutely. Take care.